This episode of the Young Turks is brought to you by Boingo, the world's largest Wi-Fi network. Sign up at boingo.com/TYT.
Phyllis Schlafly has recently written a book called The Flip Side of Feminism. And she talks about why feminism is a terrible thing for society. And she goes on to talk about how feminists are obsessed with divorce. They love divorce. In fact, that's what the whole feminist movement was about. It was about divorce. That's it. So, she had an interview with Huffington Post with a woman by the name of Beverly Willett. And I have little bits and pieces of her interview that I want to share with you guys because I want to show just how oblivious this woman is to the truth, okay? So let's go to the first graphic. During the interview, she says, marriage and motherhood are not something to which young women have been taught to aspire. Instead, the women in their lives tell them to focus solely on their career. The result is women don't think of marriage and motherhood as fulfilling in and of itself. It's silly to think there's something wrong with being in the kitchen. Everybody has to eat.
There is logic in that, Anna. Everybody does have to eat. Did you think about that?
The thing that feminists pushed for was for women to have the choice, right? So if women want to be housewives, there's nothing stopping them from being housewives. If they want to be in the kitchen, there's nothing stopping them from being in the kitchen, right? Like, this woman thinks that career-minded individuals are just crazy. Like, if you have a vagina, you belong in the kitchen. You belong on a table in the hospital giving birth, okay? That's the only thing you're good for. Don't think about a career. That's not something that's going to be fulfilling for you. You're going to be depressed and you're going to be upset. You have to make sure that you establish a family, pop out as many children as you can, and that's it.
Look, the choice point is a really good one, Anna, because they paint it as if, like, feminists love divorce. Well, why would they love divorce? Then why wouldn't they just not get married? Okay, getting beyond the blinding irrationality of that. The reality is that the feminists pushed for the ability to get divorced because in the past, you didn't have that ability as much when you were women. So you could be beat by your husband, you could be terribly abused, and you still couldn't get out of the marriage. So it wasn't because they're like, yeah, I can't wait to get divorced. They wouldn't have gotten married if they thought that. No, it was because sometimes you need divorce, and sometimes it's also true for men, but largely for women, because you're in a terrible, terrible spot. Because in the past, men literally physically had an advantage over you, and an advantage over you in the law, and then they had the rights. That's why it was just a matter of giving women equal rights and a choice.
Let me just say something about people like Phyllis Schlafly, okay? You got to give her a lot of credit because of the fact that she's been so successful at taking the word feminism or feminist and giving it a negative connotation. In fact, right-wingers have been so successful at it that even Democrats bought into the idea that feminists are these crazy, evil people, okay? I mean, look at our audience. We have a progressive audience. If we talk about a feminist or a feminism-related story and we put it up on YouTube or we put it on any other type of forum, every single comment will be like, feminazi, feminists. And it's like, dude, look back to what feminism was really about. Of course, there were women who took it too far. There were women who went around and they wanted rights for themselves and less rights for men. That doesn't make sense. That's not something I agree with. But the foundation of feminism was not evil. It was something that I think progressives should totally believe in. So you have these right-wingers, drawing feminism in a very negative way, and they keep doing it and doing it and doing it until their crazy ideas start to infiltrate Democrats and liberals. It's amazing. It's incredible how successful they are.
No, their propaganda campaigns are something to behold, man. They are historic. I can't tell you the number of liberal and progressive women who have told me, I'm not a feminist, because they made feminist such a bad word. Same thing with liberal, even though every single poll shows that the country on the issues are anywhere from significantly liberal to massively liberal. Just the polls we quoted on today's show. They love Social Security. They love Medicare. They want to protect Medicaid. They want to cut defense spending. They want to tax the rich. The country is totally liberal. But if you ask them, are you a liberal? They're like, oh, no, I'm not a liberal. Liberal's a dirty word. Mm-hmm. And look, got to fight back. If we don't fight back, you keep losing. Look, part of the reason I want to do this show, part of the reason I want to do the show on MSNBC is we got to go back and punch them in the face. Okay, I'm talking proverbially. You got to fight back and you got to say, hey, these are not bad words, they're good words, and let me tell you why. And and do the likewise to them. Conservative means retarded. Conservative means a guy who doesn't believe in change when the whole world is about change. All we do is change. But conservatives say, no, I'm stupid, I'm backwards, I'm a Neanderthal, I never want to change. Conservative is a dirty, ugly word. How you like me now? Boingo is the leading Wi-Fi network in the world, okay? They got 125,000 hotspots, and they're actually an aggregator. They put all that together, and so they're the largest network of Wi-Fi spots. It's convenient. You just pay $9.95 a month, and you get all of that.
With Boingo Wi-Fi for your iPod Touch or iPad, you can enjoy super fast downloadable speeds, have access to more locations for FaceTime, and play online video games and even HD videos.
Go to sign up at boingo.com/TYT. It's awesome.